Welcome to pre-season testing ahead of the 2028 Formula 1 season. There is minor regulation changes to the engine, so who will start the season on top? Aston Martin come into 2028 off of the back of their first Constructors' Championship after starting strong with by far the best car last season before falling back into the pack, which cost them the chance of doing a double with both Sainz and Alonso missing out on the Drivers' Championship. They look still to be towards the front this year, but their big advantage has very much gone. They started testing strong, finishing day 1 P3, focusing on long run pace, but still posting lap times good enough for P4 on the final 2 days of testing. Mercedes finished last season strong after bringing some big upgrades mid-season, helping Brown to the title, winning 7 in a row including sprint races. As Brown starts his first title defence, Mercedes are looking to continue where they left off last season, and topping the first day of testing gave them hope that they can go for glory again this year and get their first Constructors' Championship since 2021. They slowed on the next 2 days of testing though, but focused on long run pace. Can Brown make it back-to-back titles this year? McLaren were in no man's land last season as they comfortably finished P3 after not really being able to challenge Aston Martin and Mercedes last season. However, they stopped development on the car early last season to focus on this year, and it looked to have paid off as they were towards the top of the times all the way through testing, topping the final day as well. The talk of the paddock is that they have the best car this season, and the long run pace of the car looks to back that up. Have they shown their hand though too early? The big news from Red Bull is that after seasons of disappointing results, Sergio Perez has been dropped by the team, and Red Bull have promoted junior driver Enzo Fittipaldi, once again overlooking Yuki Tsunoda as teammate to Max Verstappen. Red Bull's car was very difficult to drive last season, which even Max struggled to get results out of, finishing P5 in the drivers on 176 points, with Perez struggling even more, finishing the season P12 and just scoring 17 points. This season Red Bull were happy with their pre-season test, having found the answer to the difficulties of last year's car as they topped the second day of testing and looked strong on long run pace as well. Is this car the one to get Red Bull back on track and give Max another chance at his 7th world title? Williams fell away throughout last season as they struggled in the development race against the big teams. Coming into this season they look to be back in the midfield battle as the car looks to struggle in high speed corners and also looks to be hard on its tyres as they struggled on long runs during the test. With experience though of Albon and Ricciardo, can they develop the car to get them back towards the front? Ferrari had their worst season since 2020 last season as they finished P6 in the Constructors, always being on the edge of the top 10 every weekend. The car struggled through high and medium speed corners. There are still question marks over Lewis Hamilton since leaving Mercedes has failed to live up to expectations and is very much at the end of his career, and whether Ferrari should look towards their academy to replace him. This year's car doesn't look like a good one as they look to be in the battle with Williams as the car's issues from last season still remain. Alpine's poor reliability cost them many points last season, but with the new minor technical regulation changes to the durability on the engine, they hope it makes it more reliable this year. This season the car looks slow in short and long run pace as they finish towards the bottom of the times on each day of testing. It looks like it's going to be another long season for them as they look way off those ahead. RB had a strong end to the season after a slow start, and after taking more parts from Red Bull they look like they could be challenging the likes of Ferrari and Williams this season, finishing P5 on the final 2 days of testing. RB's long run pace looks to be strong, but can they keep it up and close the gap to Red Bull this year? At the end of 2027 Nico Hülkenberg announced his retirement from the sport, leaving a big hole in the team which HAAS worked hard to fill, signing Sergio Perez after being dropped by Red Bull. HAAS are hoping that Sergio Perez's experience of driving race-winning cars will help them get out of their bad development cycle as they once again went pointless in 2027. This year's car looks once again to be a bad one as they struggled on long run pace, finishing days 1 and 2 slowest and still being P9 once they took the fuel out to the car. Will Perez regret this decision to sign as it looks to be a long season ahead for him and the team? Sauber, just like HAAS, went pointless last season, spending each race in the battle with the American team, a long way off the midfield. This year's car looks to be an improvement as their long run pace look better than the teams around them, but they still look to be slow over a single lap as they look to struggle to switch the tyres on. Can they finally move forward this year and get some points, or will it be the same story as last season? Formula 1 announced a 10 race calendar for the 2028 season, starting down under here in Australia. We then have a run of classic races when we go to Monaco, Canada, Silverstone, Spa and Monza. We then have our first sprint weekend in Cota for the American Grand Prix, and that's going to be back-to-back sprints with the Brazilian Grand Prix as well. We then have a late European race in Portugal, and we round the season out under the lights of Las Vegas for hopefully another title decider just like last season. That's it for testing ahead of the 2028 and final season of this career mode. It looks to be close up front between McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes and Aston Martin, but who will finish on top? You'll have to come back and find out when we go racing for the first time in 2028 here in Australia.